Hey guys, happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Trademark Like a Boss show. I am Radiance Harris, founder and managing attorney of Radiance IP Law. I help emerging businesses protect, monetize, and grow profitable brands with trademarks. Today, we are talking about intentional choices. I've got the wonderful Karen Q with me here today, and we are going to get down to business in just a second. But I do, if you are watching live, be sure to drop in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from. If you watch the replay, hit us with the hashtag replay so that we know that you watched this episode. So let's get to it. Welcome to the show, Karen.
Thank you. It's such a pleasure to be here.
Yes, I'm so happy to have you here. Karen's actually a client of mine, Radiance IP Law, and I also did her program, Scale the Limit, which we'll go into a little bit later. But first, share with our audience who you are, what you do, and who you serve.
So I'm Karen Q. My company is Scale the Limit. We do mindful weight loss for successful women. Look, we've all been there, right? We gain weight, we lose weight, we can nail almost any program out there. But that kind of has eluded us, right? And we're looking at our lives, we have all these other successes in our lives, and this one thing keeps nagging at us. And when I got to the point on my own journey where I figured out how to solve this, I was just so passionate about sharing it with everybody else. And that is what led me to create Scale the Limit. It's real food. It's paired together with mindful exercises so that we're not just looking at the short-term, weight loss, but we're talking about maintenance as well. And we go step by step through losing weight and then keeping it off, which is the goal, the holy grail, right?
Yes. And I can actually co-sign on the Scale the Limit program. I actually did it in January. After gaining a bunch of weight during COVID, the pandemic pounds, as I call it. And it was just what I needed. It got me back on track, very easy to follow. I lost like crazy weight. I lost like 20 pounds in a matter of like 6 weeks. And I still, months later, have maintained the weight loss and follow the program. And it's just become a lifestyle. So I'm so grateful for your program. It's really been life-changing for me. And I hope other women get to experience it too.
Thank you so much. I mean, you came on like gangbusters, girl. I really thought you were going to be the queen.
I know. Yeah, it's all good. I still was a winner because, I got my health back on track.
Absolutely. So everybody's a winner, but that's why we have a little bit of healthy competition, just so that when you want to push yourself just a little bit further, know that crown is there for you.
Yes, it definitely was incentive for sure. But it was a fun experience. Still practice the principles, eat the food that I did in the program, and it's been amazing. So thank you again. So let's talk about your journey from working in corporate America to then entrepreneurship, and what made you make that leap?
Well, Radiance, I've actually always been an entrepreneur. I've had an entrepreneurial spirit since I was 6 years old. We were lucky enough to live next to a golf course. And my friends and I, when I was about 6, we were out in the woods, like looking for treasure. And that treasure happened to be golf balls. And then we started selling them back to the golfers. And I had a little pop-up shop one day. The boys in the neighborhood and I would go out on these adventures, but I was flying solo one day with a little pop-up shop, and apparently the owner caught wind of this, the golf course owner, and he came out, and we were selling these golf balls for like 25 cents a piece, 5 for $1, and he came out and he wanted to buy the whole lot for 10 cents a ball. And I was like, no. I was like, these are 25 cents or 5 for $1. And we went round and round and round, and he was all frustrated. He's like, but I'm buying them all. And I was like holding firm, and he was like, okay. He's like, I'll buy them all at your price, but all the rest of the golf balls you get, you're selling to me for 10 cents a ball. And that was the first time that I went from wholesale to retail. But I had a little negotiation back for him. I said, fine, we'll do that, but you have to let my friends come along as well and sell to you.
Oh,
like, okay.
That's beautiful. I mean, you still carry that on now. Like, you're so supportive of other women and uplifting them and making them feel confident. So it's not surprising that it started from you being a young girl with golf balls.
Right. So I've just been fascinated by business. One of the reasons why I started my business consulting business is because I just can't keep my nose out of everybody else's business. Like, I have to help. Like, if I see an area where, I can give some advice or support, I really try to get in there and do that. But, I went to college for political science and then ended up doing systems engineering. And everyone's like, how'd you get into that? And well, I fell into government contracting, and that really is a whole lot of politics. Yeah. And then I learned a whole lot of technical skills as well. And so I've been able to apply all of the things that I learned from systems engineering into small business as well. And I became very passionate about that. Our first real LLC was a real estate investment company. And I was that parallelpreneur, right? I think I've been all the preneurs, Radiance. I'm the mompreneur and the parallelpreneur and the micro nichepreneur.
Yeah.
But I've just always been that interested. And so every time I learn something, I just want to apply it forward and share it.
I love that. So tell me about your trademark journey. Like, so you're a client of mine, and we work together to protect your trademarks. How was that experience for you?
Radiance, it was fantastic. I had been looking into trademarks for all of my other companies early on, and I just saw how complicated it is. And in reading about everybody else's experience, it just seemed like if you made one little wrong move, like, you were kind of screwed. Like, you just weren't going to get it through.
Yeah.
And I was telling you earlier, I feel like I'm a smart woman. Like, I can figure out most things, but you've got to just know when to go to the expert. And that ultimately was why I was like, Radiance, can you help me? And, we had that initial call, and you just made the whole process so easy.
Yeah.
So easy for us to go through step by step. So thank you. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. And it's a delight to hear that, because that's what it's all about, is me trying to make a complicated area of law. I guess I would describe trademarks as deceptively, like, people think it's easy, but there are a lot of nuances that aren't clear to, like, the regular person. So I try my best to make it easy. And so I'm glad you had a positive experience with that. So what has having your trademarks protected, how has it helped your business or made you feel as a business owner?
I just love having the protection and knowing that I can go nationwide. And in fact, that was the impetus. I didn't really answer your other question. The reason why we started exploring trademark at the time that we did, we were about a year into our business, and we were doing really well locally. And I knew that if we were going to explode out nationally, we were really going to need that protection.
Yeah.
And so as we were growing, I was starting to get nervous that somebody, especially one of the bigger companies, this is actually my biggest fear, was that one of the bigger companies was going to, like, swoop in and steal our name.
Yeah.
And I just didn't want that to happen.
Right. And what I enjoyed working with you, especially when we had our initial call, I loved the excitement of the vision that you had for Scale the Limit. Like, those are the types of clients I love. So they come in, they're like, this is going to be huge. And you were like, this is going to be huge. Like, we're expanding. Like, the excitement and, like, the belief in the future of your business. Like, that's, like, I love working with those types of clients. So it was just such a delight and an honor to support you in the journey, being that you have that huge vision that I know will, come to fruition.
Yeah, and that journey kind of pushed us forward faster than I think I was ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
I question now, like, was that the right time to do it? I don't know, right? There's never necessarily the exact right time, but it certainly pushed us to create more of the services faster so that we could get them protected faster.
Yeah.
Than maybe we would have gone without that.
Absolutely.
But it really is.
You have options now. So I always tell people, like, trademarks give you options. So if you waited, you might not have the options that you thought. Like, you might have not been able to do the cookbook, or you might not be able to do different things, or the membership, or whatever it is. So it's like, it gives you the option to expand as you see. So I think it was a great time to do it. The sooner is best versus waiting until you achieve whatever it is you think you're going to achieve. It's best to do it early. So tell me.
Make me feel better.
No, I'm for real. That's what I always tell people. It's best to do it earlier. So tell me, you've had all these different businesses. What is your number one piece of business advice?
So I'm an over planner and I'm an overachiever, like a lot of successful women. And I will tell you that start where you are and move forward and take the steps, just step by step from where you are. You don't have to create some crazy masterpiece that's perfect, because if you try to plan that and then try to execute on it, it's, the plan's only going to go so far, and then you're going to have challenges and you've got to pivot anyway. And so the number one thing you can do is just start where you are. I'm not saying don't do any planning at all, but my first business, we planned for 2 years before we launched.
Oh, wow.
We literally got everything in place for 2 years before launching. And I will never, ever do that again. My second business was about 6 months. And my third and fourth businesses were about 3 months that I put into.
You are the ultimate planner.
Well, yeah, when you do government work and you're in systems engineering, it's all about massive plans before you're even allowed to execute.
Yeah.
So, I was just using my experience, but I do think that a lot of people feel like they have to have all of the pieces in place to do it. And by the way, a system can be manual, right? So you don't have to have all of this technology going on.
Right.
You can just start where you are with the tools that you have and then scale up from there.
Yeah, from my own business journey with launching Radiance IP Law, I essentially just launched I had a old janky laptop. I filed my LLC. I got my lawyer liability insurance, and I was I created a Wix website, and I was open for business. I literally had no plan or strategy. I knew I was starting a law firm. I knew that this is what I specialize in. I specialize in trademark, specialize in copyright, specialize in contracts. So let me just start a business. I literally had no other vision other than let me just get started. So I guess I'm the person you're talking to. There weren't a lot of bells and whistles at the beginning, for sure.
Well, and look at where you are now.
Yeah.
One of my mentors always says, if you're not embarrassed by the first thing that you put out, you're doing it wrong.
That is funny and very on point. Because yes, you just
look at your first logo.
Yeah. I still have the same logo. My logo's pretty good. It's very minimalist, but yeah, I hear you. Oh man. So what is next for Scale the Limit? How can people get into contact with you?
So scalethelimit.com is open and available. You can find out all kinds of things about the program, about us, about some of our awesome members' journeys. We've got testimonials on there. You can schedule a call with me as well. It's all at scalethelimit.com. And I got a couple things going on. As you know, we're still working on the Sugar is the Devil trademark. Do you have any news for me, Radiance?
No, sorry. I don't know. We're at the disposal of the USPTO, so we're just waiting for them.
So we're going to be doing some interesting things coming up with our cookbook. You can also get that at scalethelimit.com. There's 14 inspirational stories in there, and we have a really special foreword by Deborah Tillman, who is America's Super Nanny. So if you want to hear about her journey with sugar, it is in there. And we have 95 plus recipes that span from entrees all the way to happy hour, which is one of the things that we love.
Yes, I have the cookbook. It's awesome. It's so awesome. Well, thank you for joining me on today's show, Karen. It's been a pleasure.
You're so welcome, Radiance. And you trademark like a boss, girl. You do it.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, thank you guys for tuning in today. If you want to connect with Karen, check out scalethelimit.com. If you're interested in scheduling a trademark strategy call with me, you can just visit the website at radianceiplaw.com. Until next week, I hope you all have a wonderful week. Until next time, take care. Bye.
Bye.